I'm going to the Human Rights Tribunal because what happened to me was really wrong, and I mean, I'm a Christian, I went to Trinity, and I don't want other grads, other Christians, or even other people in different religions to have to go through anything similar to this, whether it's with this company or other companies. And so even if I'm going to have a hard time going forward.
That was Bethany Paquette on the show yesterday, talking about her treatments at the hands of a Norwegian-Canadian company called Americ, a bunch of Vikings by their own description, who just hate Christians. Well, welcome back to The Source. I want to bring in now Bethany's lawyer from Vancouver. His name is Jeffrey Trotter, and he joins us now. Hey, Jeffrey, we had your client on yesterday, and she seemed like a great young woman, not politically active, not a fighter, not a radical in any way. She just sort of stumbled into an angry viper's nest of, you know, radical Vikings. I mean, these people who think of themselves as anti-Christian radicals who are also running a country. That was shocking to me. Is that kind of anti-Christian discrimination more widespread, or is this just an extreme outlier?
Well, this case is unusual because of how egregious the comments were. I can say that Bethany has had some encouraging notes from others who have experienced similar difficulties with this company or with others. And it's really for people like that she wants to take this forward to make sure that there's fair play for everyone. Now,
yesterday, after we did our show and Bethany was on, the company, Americ is their name, put out a statement. It was a lengthy statement. I just want to read the first sentence because these folks are in some weird alternative universe. Here's what they said. And the typos in here are their original typos. I kept them in for flavor. They said, "We regret that Bethany Paquette was imminently unqualified for an assistant guide internship position with our company. We strive to make applicants aware of the minimum requirements for each position." I won't read the whole thing, but they think that that is enough. And that would have been enough not to hire, but they omitted the page after page after page of anti-Christian vitriol and profanity they dumped on her on company letterhead. These folks just don't get it, do they? They think that what they did after that is, we're just going to forget about it. It's not that they didn't even hire, it's that they didn't hire because of their religious bigotry, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, this company, you're quite right, they have no clue, and they certainly have not had British Columbia legal advice, because if they had, a BC lawyer would tell them that if you give two reasons for refusing to hire someone, and one might be legitimate in terms of qualifications, but the other is clearly discriminatory in terms of religion or attending Trinity Western, that the decision as a whole is discriminatory. And I have every faith that the tribunal will find accordingly.
Now, I want to ask you a question. You said you saw my show yesterday. I appreciate that. I have a moral objection with going to the British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal, and it's because I don't regard it as a legitimate, fair, I don't even regard it as a Canadian-style court. I regard it as an inquisitorial star chamber. It's not run by real judges. They're not bound by legal procedures like real courts are. There's not the same discovery. There's not the same, it's just, I call it a kangaroo court, as do many others. And I myself was dragged through one for 900 days for daring to publish the Danish cartoons of the Muslim prophet Muhammad. My point is, going to the BC Human Rights Tribunal, I know that's the law of BC. And I know that everyone else does that when they're going after companies, but I wonder about the wisdom of going into such a process that we know is stacked against Christians, that's my view, and that gives the government some sort of arbitration role on political matters. What's your response to my philosophical objection to going to the Human Rights Tribunal?
Well, I mean, I've read a number of human rights decisions over the years that, help me understand why some are cynical of tribunals. But look, this is a really clear-cut case, and it's not just for Bethany, it's for anyone in a position like her, whether because of their race or their religion or their sexual orientation or anything else. It's denied a job without a valid reason.
Now, I have a thesis. I'm just running these ideas by you. I didn't want to get too technical or tough with Bethany yesterday. She seems like such a sweet girl who really isn't that political. She's obviously not a lawyer. So I didn't want to ask her some of these challenging questions. But let me ask you this. As you know, the BC Law Society has accepted Trinity Western's proposed new law school, as have many other law societies in Canada. But in Ontario, in Nova Scotia, anti-Christian lawyers have got together to blacklist Trinity Western grads in advance without even meeting them. It's my theory that that anti-Christian bigotry has trickled out into the wider society, and if the leading lawyers of Canada are okay to be anti-Christian bigots, others like these fools at Amaric.com think that they can be anti-Christian too. So I think it's like a trickle-down racism that's probably permeating more than we can see. Do you agree with my linking this discrimination to the official discrimination in law societies against Trinity Western?
I certainly agree that the profile of the issue around the accreditation of the law school has driven a lot of negative comment towards Trinity Western, and it seems that this company has picked up on some of that. And certainly, personally, I'm disappointed that so many of my colleagues are working so hard not to follow the Supreme Court decision from 2001.
Listen, Jeffrey, it's good to talk with you. I'd like to keep in touch with you as this case goes forward. Will you come back on the show to give us a progress update?
Yeah, I can certainly do that, or if I'm not available for an interview, I can certainly update you directly.
That's great. Thanks, Jeffrey Trotter. You keep up the fight.